Banging misses and videos. While I'm with my freak like we up in the freak shows. Hit you with this shit, make you feel it all in your toes. Hot shit, got all my people in wet clothes. Telling my metaphors when I formulate my flows. If you don't know, you're messing with lyrical player pros like that. Wanna party with me?
Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome to our Wednesday night edition of the Walking This Way's Impact Voice podcast. Of course, I'm your host from Jackson Jim. We're broadcasting out again out of the DFW. That is Dallas Fort Worth, Texas metropolitan area. If everyone want to know what the DFW mean, of course, you know this is our Wednesday night. This is the last month of July. Tomorrow will be August 1st. We're already into the 8th month of 2024. So this is time for us, some of us, majority of us, to buckle down, get on your A game, step your game up, and finish it out strong as we enter month 8. So let me say that I want to please welcome my esteemed guest from Wisconsin, who is an accomplished event planner and business owner in the Dallas-Fort Worth, Texas area. Having recently embarked on a journey into public speaking, she has a foundation and nonprofit organization and is a survivor of domestic violence. We're honored to have her on the Walking This Way Impact Voice podcast. Aneta, thank you for taking time out of your productive schedule to be on here. You have a quite impressive resume. You have an awesome testimony as well. So welcome to the Walking This Way's Impact Voice podcast.
Thank you for having me, Furman. I am excited to be on your podcast. I am here to answer any questions and let everybody get a chance to know me and a lot about me and what's going on, and to share my testimony to hopefully help others.
Man, awesome. And like I said, you have a quite impressive resume. Domestic violence survivor, of course, and we know that runs rampantly in our community, in our world. You know it. We see it all the time. But that's for talk about that later on. But let's talk about some positive things, of course. You are, of course, a native of Wisconsin, of course. Yes. You transition here. Of all the 50 states, well, we want to say 49 states. Why choose Texas?
So I chose Texas because I understood I had intention, I had goals, I had aspirations, and I knew the energy and I knew the arenas I wanted to be in, and I had a vision for my businesses and where I wanted to go. And I felt like Texas being so large and such a great networking arena, that would be a great place for me to restart over, to start a new life, and just really grow my businesses into successful ones. So that's what made me want to move to Texas.
Man, that's awesome. And I know that I say this all the time on the show, Aneta, that God did not create us to be a waste. You know, the scripture lets us know that we're fearfully, wonderfully made. The scripture lets us know that we're the apple of his eye. The scripture lets us know that we're the head and not the tail. The scripture lets us know that we're blessed going in, blessed going out. He lets us know that we're more than a conqueror. And these are things that he bestowed upon us, as they say, people say affirmations. But these are things he already spoke into our lives even before we existed. but it's up to us to believe what he already said in his word about us, and not what society say, not what people say, but what he says about you. That hey, I'm fearfully one and made. I was not created to be a waste. He created me with purpose. He created me with destiny, and all of the great stuff, of course. So I love people that's all about their business in life, Anita, who are striving each and every day towards perfection, striving each and every day to create a life for themselves. Even though, because if you look in the beginning, going biblical for a moment, the Bible said in the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth. We know that, but
Mm-hmm.
He created these things already in mind. He already envisioned how He wanted everything, and we have those same abilities as
Yeah.
well, Anita. Because what Solomon said, death and life is in the power of the tongue,
Mm-hmm.
and eat the fruit thereof. So we have to be mindful. What are we speaking? Are we speaking life over ourselves? Are we speaking life over our situation? Or are we speaking death over ourselves and death over our situations?
Yes, and what I always tell people is that watch what you speak about yourself, also your mindset. If you even if you don't got nothing but $2 in your pocket, if your mindset is, oh, I'm always broke, I ain't gonna never have, you have to speak great things into existence, even if it's not there in the present time. You cannot allow something temporary to determine what your destiny and your ending is going to be like. You have to start within your mind, controlling your thoughts and the energy. And that is how you, in turn, you speak things into existence. And if you have a better mindset, then you can make better decisions to have a greater outcome.
Most definitely, and you will, and because I'm very big on that. And we are working in the making. We're constantly evolving each and every day. We're supposed to evolve, but we're constantly evolving. We're constantly learning. We're constantly tap into new information, tapping in new resources on a regular basis. And don't get me wrong, it's a lot of great information out there, but we also know we got some bad information out there as well.
Yes.
And but the most important thing is, what are we listening to? What we keeping our mind on a regular basis? When God opens us up, wake us up every morning. What are we listening to? What are we engaging in? Is it
Mhm.
something positive or is it something negative? What you say about that, Anita?
So I will say that it definitely matters what you are intaking, the people that you are around, the things that you're reading, like whether you're on social media and you're scrolling through this and scrolling through that. If it's not positive, then your mind at some point is going to start to pick up that. If you're around people who are negative, that energy is going to rub off on you. So that's what they say it's so important, the circle of friends, the circle of associates that you keep. That really, I mean, it's a game changer. People just think like, oh, that's a saying. Well, the company you keep matters. It definitely matters, because if you're not around people who are trying to help you to elevate, or speaking that around you, or they're not trying to elevate, you can have people around you that are going to bring you down with them, because their mindset and their drive and their ambition is not there the way yours is. So then you guys are unevenly yoked, whether you're friends in a relationship. It all has to align with itself.
Yeah, it does. Because just think about that. Even the Bible says, if we walk, paraphrase, it talks about if you walk with a company of wise men, you will be wiser. You
Mm-hmm.
walk with a company of fools, you shall be destroyed.
Yes.
So that is a true saying. If I'm around ambitious people, I'm gonna become ambitious. If I'm around people who are wise, I'm gonna become wise. If I'm
Yes.
around people who are successful, I'm gonna become successful. If I'm around fools, you're gonna be destroyed. If you're around people that's lazy, you'll become lazy. You're around people who are complacent, you're gonna become complacent. You're around people who backbite, lie, cheat, steal, you name it. That's gonna eventually rub off on you.
Mm-hmm.
So that's really is a important saying. And what the other saying is, show me your friends, I should show you your future.
Yes.
And you
And
gotta
see, with
go ahead.
me, I think with me, I had to learn that, because I was always that person that felt like, well, if you was my friend at this point, I got to bring you with me to the next level. But then I had to realize, if people are not good for you and where you trying to go, If they are not aligning with that, and they always out clubbing, getting in trouble and something going wrong, and they act in a certain way that's not aligned with who you are and how you are, that can cause a big disconnect there. And it can also bring you down from what you're trying to achieve. So I always tell people, you have to create your circle in a way that is going to be beneficial to your life and be beneficial just in general, so that y'all can pour into each other. I think that's so important, to have people who pour into you that you can pour back into, and just create that good circle of energy and just positivity and good mindsets.
Yeah, and that's why it's important, like I said, the company that you keep. And also, I had posted my Facebook page a
Hmm.
couple of days ago how it's important to be with the right spouse. That plays a role too as well.
Yes.
That plays a role too. The person that you're marrying, who you coming in covenant with, that's important. Is it going to lead you towards purpose and destiny, or is it going to lead you towards a dead end? And we see that's why the divorce rate is so high, because
Hmm.
individuals are marrying the wrong people.
Yes. That is so true. And I just got divorced this year in February, after being married to somebody for years. But
Hmm.
because they were so abusive, they were not aligned with me. They did not have the same mindset. They were not trying to go where I was trying to go. I said, listen, I got to stay. Listen, this ain't it. And I had to understand we were not aligning and that we were not evenly yoked with each other. And then I had to remember about soul ties, and just being around certain kind of energies when that's not how you are. And people take soul ties, they don't take it as serious as they should. When you soul tie with people, if people are not right and you are not like that, that can really affect you in so many ways. And
Yeah,
so it is very important, like you said, to be careful who you marry, be careful who you are in relationships with, because that can play a role in how things go for you. You taking it longer for you to get to your destiny. It's very important to watch who you are getting into relationships with, as far as soul time with people.
yeah, most definitely. And just that's what taking time on yourself is for. That's why individuals shouldn't be rushing to get into a relationship. If you want to get in a relationship, learn to get in a relationship with yourself first. That
Yes.
probably know what some people heads. I'm gonna say
Yes.
something else too. If you want to be
Wait,
married,
Carmen. No, repeat that again. Tell them again.
if you want to get in a relationship with you first. If you want to get married, marry yourself first. Because when you doing all that, that's when you get to what? Know more of yourself. We're going somewhere here, Anita.
Yes.
The more you get to know more of yourself, the more you know what your outcome would be. You know what your expectations are. But
Yes.
why? Because you develop a relationship with yourself and you married yourself. So that means what you did? You got to know yourself a whole lot better. So what's gonna happen? You know better, you gonna what? Do better.
Do better. Yes, and you have to love yourself. You have to learn to be okay with being alone. You have to find yourself. If you are missing key components like that, no matter who you're in a relationship with, there'll always be problems, because you did not do the proper work to find yourself, to love yourself, to understand yourself, so that you then internally can already have that taken care of on your list. So when you get with somebody, it's not so much about, well, if you don't love yourself, how can you love somebody else? If you don't know yourself, how can you get to know somebody else? It don't work that way. It got to line. It got to be even.
It got to. That's why you heard the cliche where people used to say, this person completes me. No, you should be already completed. They can
It,
add on to what you already have, but they don't complete you. You know what I'm saying? Because let's say if they leave tomorrow, what's gonna happen then? They don't complete you. But we used to say them thing that was quote unquote cute, but it's not.
exactly.
Or this person makes me happy. No, you should
You
have been
should already
already.
internally be happy. They should just be adding to that, so that no matter what the outcome with them is, you can still internally be happy within yourself.
Right. And that's what we saying. So I'm glad now that we are to that point now, not all of us, some of us, to
Yes.
that point now that we're learning to love ourselves, respect ourselves. That's why Christ told Nicodemus that we must be born again. So in other words, we're starting out over, not from a physical standpoint, but from a spiritual standpoint, because we know that the work is on the inside, not the outside. Because you could buy all the nicest clothes, you could drive the nicest car, you can make all the money you want, but if you still that wicked, poor, insecure
Yes.
individual, you still gonna be that same character. Only thing about it, you just got new clothes on.
Yes.
To be honest with you, being single to me is this kind of like the best. I don't say kind of like the best time. This is the time where you actually get to know yourself. You're working on getting things more accomplished, and you because basically it's just you. And so it's like, okay, I have to depend more on myself now. So I have to get some urgency about myself. I have to get up and go by myself. I get things accomplished. Cause why? Because it's just me. And that's when you really have all that time to know yourself.
Yes. And I will say, like, a lot of people ask me, they're like, well, you're so accomplished and you're educated. Why are you single and you're beautiful? Like, why are you not out with somebody? And I tell people that I would rather be alone, heal myself, work on myself, love
That's it.
myself a little more, get to fix me before I continue to go down the same pattern of getting into relationships and I'm not ready for this or this person may not be ready. So I always tell people it's okay to be single, it's okay to be alone. That is your time for you to work on you to be a better version of yourself. Even if you don't choose to be with nobody after you work on yourself, it's always good to be able to master that skill of loving you and working on you and being the
That's
best version of yourself that you can.
and that's it. Just work on the little simple things. Working on being on time. Work on being honest. Work on being trustworthy. Maintain some integrity. There's a lot of little things you can start doing. Practice on being more healthy. You know what I'm saying? The scripture tells us, beloved, above all things, you is prosper in our health as well as our soul prosper. So work on being more healthy. It's a little simple thing. Work on keeping your house clean. We just throwing stuff out there. If you don't want to clean, hire a house cleaning service to come clean your place. It's a little simple thing. Work on getting your money together. That's another thing.
Hmm.
Not get your money together for nobody else, but work on learn how to budget your money. Learn how
Yes.
to invest. Uh, Learn not to go beneath your means. They say.
Yeah.
But being better steward. That's what I want to say. Enjoy
Mhm.
the process of being a better steward, and we're gonna talk about that later on the 8 o'clock hour. Getting your credit established. Go somewhere, put your credit report on. Work on your credit. You know what I'm saying? It's so much stuff that will keep you occupied.
Yes, that's very true. And I think the problem today is, I think a lot of people are idolizing what they see on social media.
Right.
They feel like all these so-called perfect couples, they have to go out and be with somebody. You do not have to follow trends. You don't know what those people are going through behind the scenes when they're not recording and posting those videos. So you can't begin to idolize people. You have to do what's going to be best for you. You have to figure out what your happiness is. And your happiness cannot be in idolizing others and thinking, well, if they got that, I got to get that to be happy. You should be happy so much internally that what you see on the outside with other people, it does not affect how you feel.
Right. And you know what, Anita, I'm glad you brought that up because we allow society to dictate how we're supposed to live.
Hmm.
We allow society to tell us, you go here, don't go there, you go here. Why? Come tell you to go here. That's where everybody going. We have allowed society to innovate our lives when we are the creator of our own lives. We are the master of our own universe, of course. I like to say that. And so we have to break that algorithm of not allowing society to dictate. I remember I had a conversation with someone on the phone a couple of months ago. And sometimes I go to the movies and I go to the movies by myself. And this individual said, "You go to the movies by yourself?" I'm like, "Yeah." Is it mandatory for me to go to the movie with somebody? Is it mandatory for me to take someone out on a date? No. Is it mandatory for me to, when I'm going on vacation, I can take somebody with me? No.
Mm-hmm.
You have to learn to enjoy life for yourself. Get up,
Exactly.
smell the roses, walk outside, lift your head up high. And I believe this too, Anita. It's all about letting nature take its course. And what it is, Anita, a lot of individuals are putting pressure on themselves that they have to have somebody.
Yes.
Just get out, enjoy yourself. Get out, look, fix yourself up. Like the other day, Monday, I went and got my feet done. You got to take care of your feet.
I saw that. I said, "Come on, Farmer, that's what I'm talking about."
Yeah, cause you got maintenance. Take care of your feet.
Yes.
So big shout out. I got big shout out to one of my co-workers. He turned me on to this place in Dallas. He said, "Man, go to this place." When I told him, you know what, I'm gonna go. That's another thing that I'm rehearsing too, is Anita, is being a man of my word. If I say I'm gonna do something, I want to do it. Forget about procrastinating, thinking about it. I'm like Nike, just do it. So I went to this place Monday. Great job. I enjoyed it. I'm going back there again in Dallas. But it's the things about taking care of yourself, loving yourself, honoring yourself. You know, if you do take someone out, you don't have to take them to a 5-star restaurant. You don't have to do all that. I'm like this. If the person like you, they can meet you at the park. Why? Because they want to be around you.
Exactly.
But once again, social media.
Yes.
That's why these people go in debt, Anita, just to impress people.
Yes.
Don't want to be honest. They scared to accept no. Let a person know, hey, I'm be honest with you. I'm not on that level. Now, if they tell you no, okay, that's okay. That does not stop your value. And that's what is wrong, Anita. People are lying. Okay, they are lying to these people.
Yes.
Instead of just being honest and say, no, I can't do that. Because they are scared. But this person gonna tell me no. But why put yourself in this situation? And I know we have done that before in life.
And see, I respect the person though. I'm gonna respect a man more if he comes and say, well, you know what? I can only take you to the park and maybe I can take you to go get a burger after. That's kind of where I'm at. But I still would like to be able to take you out. I'm gonna respect that man being honest up front versus somebody who like, yeah, I can buy you the world or let me go do this, do that, and it's really not that. I'm like, well, wait a minute, we could have just been honest from the go, because if I meet somebody, I'm going to be totally honest with them and not lead them on, because if you start out lying in the beginning, then you've already broken trust. So then how can I trust you later on down the line when things get serious, if they do, with anything bigger?
Right. And then also, Anita, because people have stuff going on too. Someone could be building a business at that point. And you know it takes money to build a business. And they cannot do all that stuff. Because right now they let you know, hey, yeah, I like you. I like to get to know you. But right now I'm doing things with my money right now. I'm just throwing stuff out there. Because people have stuff going on. They have different projects going on. Someone could be rebuilding their credit. Paying off student loans. I'm just throwing stuff out there. They have things that they want to take care of, not some things off.
Yes.
And people forget about that too.
And I think that's the thing. People always feel like everybody supposed to have all this money. They don't understand that a lot of people move strategic. A lot of people are wise. A lot of people are mature. They have aspirations. They have goals. So just because I'm not out buying all the clothes or buying all this flashy stuff, I could be saving that money to go buy me a building to have a corporation. You know, I could be saving that money to go buy some land and build some real estate properties. You know, so it's not always about just, you know, having a glitz and glam and just blowing money. When you are wiser, you make wiser decisions. And that's what I tell you. If you want to be successful, you have to get wiser. You have to make better decisions. You can't worry about what somebody feel. If you can't go out every weekend because you're trying to save to get you something for your business, that's more of a wise decision than you hanging out every weekend, but you're not reaching your goals.
Exactly. And at the end of the day, you just deceiving your own self.
Yes.
You're deceiving your own self. But we know we're going to take a commercial break. And after this commercial break, we're going to jump right back into our Q&A discussion. What's up, everybody? We're back here on the Walking This Way Impact Wars podcast. This Saturday, I will not be doing the show this Saturday. I will be doing a pre-recording on the Keeping It Real podcast, of course. So I will be interviewed. So big shout out to Michelle. She's the host of the Keeping It Real podcast here in the DFW. She invited me to be on the new season. I think it's episode 1 of season 3. I hope I said that right. But big shout out to her for giving me the opportunity to come on her platform and answer some questions or whatever else we want to talk about. So big shout out to her. So we're back here on the name of this episode is called Life with Aneta. And that's what we're talking about. Matter of fact, I think you're a podcaster yourself also as well. Am I correct? Or
Yes, yes, I'm a podcaster as well. I have my own podcast called Life with Aneta, where I take people through a journey through my life. I discuss current topics. It's more of trying to help people. It's a documentary about me as well, as I stated. My podcast can be found on so many different platforms: Spotify, Apple, YouTube, iHeartRadio. So I'm pretty much all over the place, but I have great content. I always encourage people to listen to my podcast because a lot of my stories I try to use to help others, because you never know what somebody's going through and how you can encourage them or inspire them to get through their situation.
yeah, most definitely. I'm gonna read some comments as well. I don't know, I can't see it on my screen, but I have to look it on my phone. Big shout out to Jenna. I hope I said that right. She said yes, all of this. Big shout out to my good friend Maria. She said that's right. Big shout out to Crystal in the comment section. She said that's a word. Big shout out to Crystal again. She said from Jesse Jr. You open my mind to separation. Who I am for what I do. Happiness being alive. Big shout out to her again. And also she said y'all preaching. So that's in the comment section right now. I can't see it on my screen, but I see it on my phone. But big shout out to everybody who is watching us. And do share tonight's episode as well. Wherever you're watching us at, or we are live streaming on Facebook on my personal page, the Walking This Way Facebook page, or live streaming on LinkedIn, YouTube, and Twitch. So we are live streaming right now on no major platforms, of course. And just talking about that, we're talking about the money aspect, the account aspect, and that's what a lot of people need to get that mixed up too. And I recently learned is the money is just an I do, it's not an I am. We get that twisted. That money don't make me. I know who I am without the money because I know my worth, I know my value. The money is just an I do. And that's what people get caught up in. They'll put the I do before the I am.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what we have to go on back to love yourself, learning yourself, and work on the inside. And it's mindset. Even though the Bible tells us that. You know what Apostle Paul says? Do not be conformed to this world, but be transformed by what the renewing of the mind. They may know the good and accept the perfect will. So we know it's a mind thing. So we have to break those old habits. So what I love about it, Aneta, is that we being broken down. Okay, we have to be broken all the way down to get rebuilt right back up again. Yeah. But it's in a new way. Because the Apostle Paul says, in Christ, we are what? New creature. Old things have passed away, but all things become new. So we have a new outlook on life. We have a new mindset. We have a new walk, a new talk. The possibilities of having an extraordinary life, not being limited. Yes. Because we know with God, all things are what? Possible. And the world is beautiful. We just have to open our eyes. And I heard that yesterday too, Aneta, was talking about having an open mind.
Yes.
When we open up our minds, we can receive brand new, healthy information.
Yes. Yes, that's always the key, to make sure it's healthy, it's positive, that it's helping you grow, it's helping you mature, it's helping you get wiser, because those are all key aspects you need to have a very fulfilling life.
Right, and that's what it's all about. But let's talk about, of course, you are from Wisconsin, mm-hmm. and you transition. How was life growing up in Wisconsin? Are you a Packers fan?
Well, no, see, I'm not a Packers fan, and a lot of people are like, how? But when growing up in Wisconsin, for me, it was really amazing because I had very supportive parents. And when my parents saw talent in me, they would support me. They would make sure I was in the things I needed to excel in those. Um, Growing up in Wisconsin, for me, it was a lot of adventure. It was a lot of just tapping into the talents I had at a young age that I didn't even know I had.
Right.
And so I kind of knew I wanted to be a business owner very early on. You know how a lot of kids are like, I want to be a doctor or a nurse. I was like, no, I want to be a business owner because I watched my parents be business owners and
Okay.
I watched them excel. So, it was great growing up in Wisconsin and just being able to grow my talents and then turn into an adult who became successful in those same talents.
Man, that was up. So entrepreneurship does run in your family,
Yes.
of course. Entrepreneurship runs in my family too, because my dad, my grandfather, he started his business at the age of 13. And he started shoe shine business. And you've seen pictures of my grandfather. He wore suits all the time, so he was a businessman. So in all his pictures, he wore number suits and hats and stuff like that. But no, he was a businessman. He had his own business at the age of 13, a shoe shine business. So that's in my blood too as well. So, but it's not like having as they say, financial freedom, having your own establishment, of course. And we know it's not for everybody, Anita. We know that. It's not for everybody. Because you have some people who are meant to work 9 to 5 jobs, and that's okay.
Hmm.
And I hate when people who call themselves business owners always look down on those people. I don't like that.
Yes, I feel like if you are not going to help those people to excel or just to respect them in their own right for what they do, then you should not look down on them. Because I have worked at restaurants, I've mopped floors, I have served food, I've done a little bit of everything, and I've had a 9 to 5. Even it may not have been the best job, but I made it what it was. And so, even me being an entrepreneur and a business owner now, I still respect those people who I go see who work at a Starbucks or a McDonald's because you know what? That's their way of making their living right now. And if that's what they're choosing to do, they still are great in their position. And they're no lower than me. We are all equal.
Right. I see people on social media always taking shots at people like that.
Yes,
And that's not cool. I don't like that because everybody's not meant to be entrepreneurs. I'm just sorry. Everybody's not meant for that.
that's true. And then
You
that might
know,
not be everybody's dream either. So it's like you can't make everybody be something that they don't want to be. Somebody may love working at McDonald's, being that general manager there, or they may love, being a manager at a restaurant somewhere or doing what they do. That's you have to let people just be who they are and live in what they want to live in and make them happy.
that's it. Because a lot of times when people build their wealth through an investment. That's something I originally started getting into, buying stocks. You know what I'm saying? Take my money, invest in stocks, allow my money to grow. 'Cause I have quite a few stocks that I invest into that I just started in. And some people build their wealth that way. It's different avenues for everyone. But just because you down that path, don't mean I have to go there. That's what we were talking about earlier. Everybody
Yes,
expects you to do the same thing because they're doing it. Everybody has a different path in life. If everybody learn how to stay in their own lane, stop looking over the next man lane, stay in your lane, your life will be perfect. Your life will be
yes,
on point. Stop worrying about what everybody else is doing and focus on your task at hand. Focus on the assignment that's before you. Because we allow society to come in and tell you, hey, you need to do this, do that. And I've seen people get mad when you turn down a bidding proposal.
hmm
Why is that? Why get mad for it? Because somebody told you no.
I think people have to learn how to understand it's okay if somebody rejects something that you offer. Everybody may not feel what you're offering is what they need or what they want, and everybody is entitled to their opinion of something or if that's something they even want to be a part of. And I think when you have a better understanding like that, then you understand things from a better perspective. But when you don't have that understanding, somebody rejected something that you offered them, you may be like, well, why would you think like that? That's the wrong mindset to have. So it's really about your mindset, you being wise and understanding what's going on.
Yeah, because you have to realize, we know this too, Anita. Everybody know their limitations. Everybody know their strengths and weaknesses. It's just like, I'm gonna use this analogy. Let's say they offer you Secretary of the State. I wouldn't take it. You know, I wouldn't take it because I don't meet the qualifications of that job. Because you gotta know you gotta know ins and outs, you gotta know different languages and all this other stuff.
Yeah.
I know my limitations, but somebody will take it, even though they ain't never done it, they ain't got no experience. They'll take it and say, "God bless me with this," but you don't know jack squat about this position.
And then you get in a position when you don't know anything and you're not equipped with the qualifications. And then a job that's so high like that, you end up messing it up. And then it has a domino effect because it's going to trickle down to everybody under you and everybody around you because you chose something that you did not know what you were doing in.
Yeah, and that's what a lot of people have a lot of falling on that too. I still love you. I don't have to tell you yes to everything. Don't mean I don't love you. Love you. Well, the love always gonna tell you the truth.
Mm-hmm.
What really gonna do a lot of hurt and damage when I lied to you? I only told you yeah because I didn't want to hurt your feelings, but I really
Yes,
did more damage because I lied to you. What's gonna happen? We're gonna have a falling out. We're gonna have a big disagreement.
exactly.
But we want to make people happy, but you got to make yourself happy too. We still cool. That's what you like to do, cool. But it's just not for me.
Yep.
But people get mad. They actually get mad. Like, could you tell them no? Like, wow, really? Why get mad for it? Everybody has their different path in life. Okay, those who listen tonight, everyone has a different path in life.
Amen.
So remember that. But let's talk about something you went through.
Mm-hmm.
And you mentioned you are a survivor of domestic violence. And I had looked across this question, and you can answer this too. Is domestic violence a sign that America's family values are in decline?
I would say yes, because you have a lot more cases of domestic violence happening in families, in households, in relationships. The numbers continue to rise and it's getting worse and worse. Um, and so, I'll share a little bit about my story. I got married to somebody. I thought this was like the love of my life. Um, Less than 6 weeks of being married to this person, they became abusive, but I was so intertwined in the situation and already married. I was like, oh God, what am I going to do? And it just kind of got worse and worse until I finally found a way to get out of that and to stay out of that. And so I don't think people understand the true trauma that comes with domestic violence and just the rise in numbers of domestic violence cases that end up leading to, women and, the victims of domestic violence no longer being here. It's really a major issue that people kind of touch on a little bit, but I do wish there was more that was done about it. There was more conversations, there was more advocacy and more resources to try to bring that down a lot, if not stop it.
Yeah, and that's something you went through, and that's something that no human being should go through with someone who's physically harming you out of anger. That's sad, but you are a survivor of it. And
Yes.
what got you out of it? Because we know that it's only two dead things. If you stay into it, one gonna be dead and one gonna be in jail.
So what made me get out of it is because I had changed my circle of friends. And in the beginning, when I was going through it for years, a lot of my friends just be like, girl, just go in there and cook and sit down somewhere. It'll be okay. And I would just get that mindset like, okay, well, cool, fine, just go sit down somewhere. You married, just sit down, it'll be okay. But when I recently changed my circle of my friends, and I didn't even know that they were around praying for me and they were encouraging me and talking to me like, you got this, get out of it. Once you step out of it, you're going to be okay. You got a whole new village here to make sure you're okay. And I got the courage and I said, you know what? This is the circle of friends I want. The ones who are helping me and motivating me when I can't motivate myself to get out of a dangerous situation. And when I got that courage, it's like something in me totally changed. I prayed a lot and I got out of that finally. And as a survivor, I try to encourage others that I know it's hard, I know it's difficult. but you can get out of that. You can survive that and be the greatest version of you and thrive and be amazing.
Yeah, and that's it, because that's something that nobody shouldn't go through. And we know that men go through the midst of violence. I know it get laughed upon compared to a woman, but men go through that as well also. What can it be changed? Can someone change from that? I know if somebody do it the first time, 9 times out of 10 they'll do it again.
Yes, that's very true. So what I say is that I think there needs to be more of a conversation about getting help, because a lot of people are doing things as far as people being abusive. They have trauma that's not healed. Some people have mental health illnesses. These are conversations that people are uncomfortable with having, but that they need to be had. So somebody may be out here with the undiagnosed mental health condition, or they may have one diagnosed, but when they're not getting the help, now that also comes as a play when they try to be in relationships. That plays out on other people who should not be affected, who should not have to suffer that hurt from what's going on within somebody else.
Right, because we always had individuals not being physically, but sexually abused as well. Also, that goes on a lot.
Yes.
I know we hear more domestic, but we forget about the sexual abuse as well. You have the with the mental abuse. There's so many abuses that's going on, and it does affect a lot of people. As someone who was sexually abused before, male or female, especially growing up, they could have been molested.
Hmm.
But they're dealing with that childhood trauma in adulthood. What you say about that also?
And then that's what makes me say that it's so important that we get in tune with ourselves. That if we know we have trauma that's unhealed, it's okay to say, I need to talk to somebody. I need to go get help for this. This has been bothering me. This is not, I don't feel like I'm okay. Because when you go and you try to attach, just feel like, well, if you just get with somebody, it'll make it better. That doesn't work. It's okay to get help. It's okay to admit that something happened. And before you go around hurting other people, it's best to just take that time by yourself, get the help you need so that you can be a better person for yourself, and then you're a safer and better person around other people.
Right, because this stuff is it, and that's what it is too. Anita, is judgment. People feel like they're gonna judge me. Oh, if I tell them what I went through, if I tell them what I'm feeling, oh, they gonna look at me different. They gonna look down on me. They're gonna talk about me. They already passing judgment on themselves even before they even open their mouth.
And it's like in a situation like that, when it's about your self care, your mental health, you have to not care what anybody thinks, because at that very moment and through your journey, it's about you. It's about you making sure that you're okay, because how you are, that's going to dictate how you operate around other people, the things you do. And you do not want to become a toxic, abusive, dangerous person when you can just say, you know what? I don't care about the opinions. I don't care what people got to say. I want to get help for me to be a better me. And you
And
really got to have that real conversation with yourself and really make the decisions you need to actually make those things happen to better your life.
that's it. And we're gonna take a commercial break, and we're gonna be right back after this commercial break.
Tarrant County just spent $18 million on what?
Girl, they just spent $18 million sending inmates to Garza County because all 4 of our jails are filled here. And I know it's because these courts are backed up. This is a problem, but Mark, I know you can help fix this.
Okay, I know what I need to do. I'm Mark Clayton, judicial candidate for Tarrant County Criminal District Court 2. I promise to continue serving and protecting the citizens of Tarrant County by following the law, upholding our Constitution, ensuring fair and equitable sentencing, ruling firmly but with compassion, I need you to make your mark in 2024. Run to the polls and vote for me because your life depends on it.
It's your favorite housewife, Lisa Barlow. Know what I'm thankful for? Vivint. I couldn't host the holidays without it. The doorbell camera protects what matters most. And that's one ring I'll never stop talking about. I love the thermostat for keeping it so warm and cozy. Plus, I can adjust it from anywhere.
Hey Lisa, can you stop changing the thermostat to 80 degrees?
The smoke and CO detector is such a sleigh in the kitchen. This looks yummy. Now, how do I turn off this timer? The Indoor Camera Pro always captures my best performances. Oh, the weather outside is frightful, but these skies are so delightful. And the app is everything. Literally, I can control all of this right from my phone. I'll be right there. You've got a lot on your plate this season. Vivint's got the rest. Did you get it? Yep. Okay.
Sorry, one more time.
Hey, what's up, everybody? We're back here on the Walking This Way's Impact Force podcast. Of course, I'm your host, Furman Jackson Jr., of course. I'm along here with Aneta as well. She's a business owner. She runs a nonprofit organization. She's a podcaster as well. She's a survivor of domestic violence. So let's talk about business. You are a business owner, of course. So that's the DFW, what your business is, what it's all about, and what can they expect when they do business with you.
So what you can expect when you do business with me is that I am very professional. I care about all my clients and my customers. I work really hard. This is a passion of mine for the businesses that I do. I'm an event planner and also a business and career specialist. So I decorate events, I coordinate events, I marry couples. I'm also an ordained minister. So I am a woman of many hats. I do a lot of different things. I help people to have jobs where, like, if you need a resume done and you say, hey, I want to get a career advancement, I help you to get your career advance. If you don't have a high school diploma or you need to learn how to get into college, I help with that. If you have a business, I help you brand and market yourself a lot more so that you can get your business name out there to grow and be successful.
Man, that's awesome. And you know what? You're doing something that you love to do. And you're doing something that you're passionate about. And that's a good thing. It's what the people say is what you find doing it's not like work, but it's something that you love to do. And also learning and growing with the times. And I know with business owners, you have to grow with the times. So how has that been growing with the times, especially how everything is going when it comes to technology and everything else?
I would say for me as a business owner, I'm always evolving. I'm always, seeing what works, what doesn't work. Recently, I have been putting a lot of my time into my nonprofit organization to really have a outreach for kids who are going back to school. I started a tutoring program for children. I do a lot of homeless outreach and also helping domestic violence survivors. So that has been a new passion that I have, really entangled with a lot more. I've done some outreach and stuff over the years, but I've got back into it a lot more recently.
Okay. I know you mentioned the children, and we know that they say the children are our future. We know that. So when it comes to the education, we know it's a struggle there. It's a fight there. And we know teachers have to wear many hats, because it's hard for students to learn if you have a problematic child in the classroom. So what that happens, that takes the attention off the learning, not have to focus on this problematic child. And the teachers have to deal with a lot. And a lot of these children that are coming up now, Aneta, can't even read.
Yes. And I used to be a special ed teacher for a year, and I saw how the school systems were, where a lot of children were not being catered to. A lot of children were not getting what they needed, and so that's why in my nonprofit I try to offer a lot of resources so that people can have another outlet besides the school. So if there's something going on in the classroom where maybe your child is not getting this education that they need, I offer tutoring services so that way they can come and spend time, or you can do it virtually with me, and I can help with all different subjects to be able to help them to excel, to be able to pass their grades, to be able to pass state testing that they need to go through.
Let me ask this: Is it a way that they can learn properly? Because I know a lot of it comes from boredom, and if a child is bored, well, those get bored too. What they gonna do? They gonna wander around. They gonna look all over the place. They gonna get into other things. Is learning? Is it not fun or something? What it is that not captivating someone's attention when it comes to learning?
I think a lot of times with kids, there's one dynamic happening in the home, right? And
Right.
so if at home, a lot of, riffraff maybe going on or whatever's going on at home. And then they come into the school setting. Now, the school setting is a whole nother atmosphere. A lot of children, when they have to do such a drastic change like that, it will affect their learning. Because if I'm the teacher and I'm at school and I'm like, hey, well, let's do this and let's do that, and I'm keeping them on a pattern, but when they go home, they can just scroll through the
Right.
phone, play video games, and a lot is going on around them. That's going to affect their way of them learning and understanding things and helping them to thrive.
Yeah, because now we have more single mothers. Back in the day, when we had mothers who were single, they made sure their child got the education. We're seeing lack of that. We have more single mothers now. But the mother not even fit to be a mother. I'm not accepting on my toes, but the child is suffering. So the mother is trying to make ends meet, so the child is not getting the proper training at home.
Yes.
And this is a big thing in our community.
Yes, very. And it's like you got the kids a lot of times they're raising the siblings, and they got all this stuff that information they're being made privy to that's really more adult arenas to be in.
Right.
Now that these children are being thrown into that. So it's like they're growing up so fast. They're not having the proper environment to thrive in. And then when you try to educate children, they are like, oh my God, like everything is like changing so much from what I'm experiencing over here, then I'm experiencing over there. And children are very fragile, especially with their learning and how their brain processes things. So you have to be careful the environments and situations that you put them in, and doing too much change with children, it really can mess with them a lot cognitively. And I don't think people really understand that part either.
Well, a lot of times they are married. They are connected to they cellular devices. They're trying devices now.
Yes.
I seen with a video where a girl jumped on the teacher because instead of learning, she on her cell phone, and the teacher took the cell phone, and the girl jumped on the teacher.
Yes. And I think that's a problem, that parents are feeling like, I want to be the friend, or just let the phones and social media and all this other internet stuff raise my child. But then these kids are being made privy to like some of the worst toxic things that have nothing to do with their education that needs to benefit them in the long run.
Right, because that's why a lot of these children now are learning these bad habits. What at home, social media, you name it. You got children performing sexual acts on each other.
Yep. And I think it's such a for me, it's disheartening to see things like that occur. You got kids killing each other. Like, it's so disheartening. And it's like, how do we all come together, change the environments that these kids are being brought up in, change the narrative of what they're viewing, just really give these kids an environment to thrive in.
We have to. And that goes to going back to the parents. We were talking about this earlier. That's why it's important, ladies and gentlemen, to be with the right spouse.
Yes.
And I'm telling you this, it's some jacked up people in this world. It's some jacked up men and women in this world. Don't get me wrong. You have to do the background checks on these people, man, because these people are weird out here. Humans are weird, I have to say. That's another thing. Also, too, Anita, you have a lot of single mothers.
Mm-hmm.
And they have boys and girls, and you have pedophiles out there too. That's another thing.
Yes.
Because you could be dating a man find out he's trying to get your son or daughter, well, your son now.
Yes. And I think that's so bad because it's like you can't even really trust the people that you're allowing. But then it's like as a parent, you have to then, go a little deeper and vet a little more instead of saying, okay, I'm just going to think about myself when it comes to me wanting to just be with somebody and not think about the effects it could have on my children. And me, I'm a mother of 9 children. So I know how that is, and watching my kids grow up and them seeing certain things that affected them because they're like, wow, mom, you're going through this domestic violence, but that's not what you taught us. So that always takes me back to you got to be careful of the environment that you're allowing your children in and who you're allowing your children around.
Yeah, most definitely. Like I said, we're gonna take a quick commercial break, and then we'll get our final remark. And then at the 8 o'clock hour, we're gonna have financial wisdom with Shiloh at 8 o'clock. So do not go anywhere. We're gonna be right back after this commercial break.
Yeah. Monday through Saturday, I open my Bible. Bible showed me how to walk in the spirit. Spirit of God, hell with decision. Shit that leads me straight to the prison. Fruit of the spirit, the heaven with water. Plant won't grow with diamond water. Sunday sprinkles just not on the water. Words of Christ is water my soul. It fills my bowl, it overflow. To these souls that dry and cold. So lost without you, don't know where to go. Here I am, available, so renew my mind. Take out the time, study alone. Put down the phone. No distraction, no drama, no problem. All these things are giving the fun. I'm walking the spirit. Just the flesh is not my thing. Obey what I say to do. Not just some Sunday, man. I walk in the spirit. I talk in the spirit. I live in the spirit. I'm moving the spirit. Yeah, I'm walking the spirit. Just the flesh is not my thing. Obey what I say to do. Not just some Sunday, man. I walk in the spirit. I talk in the spirit. I live in the spirit. I'm moving the spirit. Yeah. Early mornings will do hit the ground. Seeking your face, you show me around. Show me the place in the spiritual world. Placing more precious than diamonds and pearl. Value one more than the silver and gold. I follow your spirit wherever you go. I can't go a day without seeking you. Directions, all that's it come from you. You order my steps, green light my way. I know it's okay to do it that way. Peace about it, I know it's okay to do it your way. It's always say. Fruit of the spirit will grow on my tree. Can't walk in flesh and curse my tree. Living goodness, meek and tender. Kindness that will come from me. I'm walking the spirit. Just the flesh is not my thing. Obey what I say to do. Not just some Sunday, man. I walk in the spirit. I talk in the spirit. I live in the spirit. I'm moving the spirit. I'm walking the spirit. Just the flesh is not my thing. Obey what I say to do. Not just some Sunday, man. I walk in the spirit. I talk in the spirit. I live in the spirit. I'm moving the spirit. Yeah.
Hey, what's up, everybody? We're back here on the Walking This Ways Impact What's podcast. Of course, I'm Furman Jackson Jr., the host of the Walking This Ways, along with my special guest, podcast entrepreneur, of course, survivor, Aneta. Thank you once again. I know we're about to get ready to go into financial wisdom with Shiloh in 1 minute before we bring her on. Aneta, you're welcome to hang around with us as we chop it up on finances and all of the great stuff. You're more welcome. But before we go into our next segment, do you have any final remarks, any words of wisdom, any sound advice that you want to leave here with the audience before we get ready to go off into our next segment?
I just want to say thank you, Furman, for allowing me on your platform. It was a great show with you today. And what I want to leave with everybody is be the greatest version of you. Love yourself. Believe in yourself. No matter what it looks like temporarily, it can always get better. Control your mindset. Think positive. Do positive things. Stay productive. And make sure the circle you keep is aligning with where your goals and your aspirations are. Thank you for having me.
And also, I appreciate you. So, y'all do not go anywhere. We're ready to go into our next segment, and it is Financial Wisdom with Shiloh. We'll be right back. Hey, what's up, everybody? We're back here on the Walking This Way Impact Boys podcast. We know it is Financial Wisdom with Shiloh. Welcome back.
What can I get him?
I know. Yeah, you good. We're here. We're
Okay.
welcome back. Of course, thank you for taking time out of your productive schedule. I know you have some great things you want to share with the audience. So, of course, the mic is yours.
What's up, Furman? How are you?
I'm doing great. Doing great. Appreciate you again.
Man, I feel like it's been a minute, right? It's been a while, but glad to see you. Glad to see, of course, you're just always just being the best version of yourself.
Have to be, right?
I've been enjoying your self-care post and your just motivational posts that you've been putting up, and of course your podcast. You're always just a bright light to us, and so I say thank you from Houston, Texas, all the way to DFW and everywhere else that watches this incredible podcast. And so thanks again for having me. And again, hello, everybody. I am Shalonda Claiborne, also known as Shy. And I am here with your nuggets when it comes to financial growth and financial wisdom. And so, it's been a minute since I've been on the podcast, but a lot has been going on, right? We've been seeing a lot of things happening daily. Things are happening daily. And so the main reason why I want to come on today is just to speak, is to teach you all that a little bit goes a long way. A little goes a long way. And that's not just in your finances, which we're going to break down a little bit, but a little kindness goes a long way, right? A little love goes a long way, right? A little patience go a long way. A little care goes a long way. But guess what? So does a little anger.
Right.
So does a little wrath. So does a little stinginess. So does a little neglect. All of those little things go a long way, right? And so I wanted to talk to you today about what that looks like when it comes to your finances, right? What does it look like when it comes to your finance? But what I wanted to do, though, is let me see if I can exit this full screen, but I wanted to go over a couple of scriptures because, we like to do that here, Furman, right?
Right.
On this beautiful platform, walk in his ways. Well, we got to be true to what God says, right? If this is Walk in His Ways podcast, it's important that we talk about what are God's ways, right? What is God's mindset when it comes to money? What is God's mindset or his ways when it comes to handling each other, when it comes to our love walk, when it comes to the different ways that we conduct our lives? What does God say about those things, right? A lot of times we want to keep God out of it, right? Even when it comes to what? Our finances. Oh, come on now. We want to keep God out of it. What does God know about finances? Well, God knows a lot about finances. But the thing that we have messed up, we got it twisted, Furman. And I was reading today and it really just blew my mind. Because honestly, guess what we do? We work harder than we really have to.
Right.
Why? Because we take God out of the scenario. If we kept God first, and if we use our resources to edify God, would he not give us more of the things that we need? But the problem is we take what? God out of the equation, right?
Mm-hmm.
God tells us to give. Let's talk about it. God says to give, and it shall be given unto you, good measure, pressed down, shaken over,
running over, will men give unto your bosom. So God uses men to do what? Give to us. So he uses us to do what? Give to man. But the problem is we just give to what? Ourselves, are for and no more, and wonder why we don't have the blessings of God pouring over into our lives, because he know we ain't gonna do what we need to do with it anyway. We have to wonder, why is there a stoppage in the flow of resources when it comes to me? What is my heart posture when it comes to giving of the kingdom of God? Do I even put the kingdom of God first, or is it me and what I need first? Doesn't the Bible tell us to take care of God's kingdom and then he will take care of ours? See, we got it twisted and we got it switched around, right? But guess what, guys? A little bit, again, goes a long way. Heck, a little knowledge goes a long way, right? God told us, we have the faith of a mustard seed. I have a mustard seed. I meant to bring it over here, but I have a very small mustard seed. Have you ever seen a mustard seed?
It's small. It's very, very small.
It's extremely small. Like, you can barely see it between my fingers. It's not even there. That's how small it is, right? But a little bit goes a long way, right? The little bit goes a long way. So I want to talk about, because we're going to talk about concept today, the meaning of Matthew 5:42. I'm going to break it down because this is going to free some people. Okay. And I'm going to read a little bit. Does Matthew 5:42 mean that we are supposed to give to whoever asks for something, no matter what? If someone asks me for $1,000, this verse seems to say that I'm to give it to him without further thought. But I find that hard to believe, because in the extreme, that person could ask for my home and then I'm supposed to give it to him. So we got to use some common sense when it comes to the word too, right? Right. It seems to me that we should be using our intelligence as we give. We don't give to a charity unless we know that it is legitimate, first of all. And then secondly, that is something we believe is worth supporting. So why does it seem so wrong to use our minds when responding to someone who asks for something? I've been told that Jesus didn't tell us to use our minds. He said to give to him who asks. Right? God said, give to him who asks. How do I respond biblically to that? So see, this is the thing. You ask a good question. Let's talk about it. Jesus is speaking about a request for either a gift, the one who begs, or a loan, the one who borrows. Follow me. In either case, without discriminating, Jesus says we should give and not refuse the one asking of us. Whether we expect to get paid back or whether we have hope of being repaid, we are to give those who need.
Stop right there, Shallow. Stop right there. You just said stop right there. Those people get caught up on. Huh? That's what people get caught up on. What's in it for me?
Yeah, absolutely.
And I had this conversation with someone. Okay, if I give something to you, I don't want to. If I give something to you and I expect you to pay me back, what you gonna do? You gonna give me the same thing in return that I gave you. But if I don't expect nothing from you from return, God's gonna give me 100-fold better than what I gave you. Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, I'm glad you said something there. That what people miss it. They always think, "What's in it for me?"
And that's where our blessings are blocked, right there, right there. If God says, Furman, I'll come to you. If I'm like, Furman, I need $100, right? Right. Your job, kingdom-minded man who has the resources, Shy, here you go. Whether Shy gonna go do what or what, that ain't the point. The point is I came in a time of need, right? Right. You are as kingdom-minded people, as Jesus-seeking people, God tells us our job is to give to those who need. Our job isn't to gauge the need. Come on, somebody. We like to gauge the need. And we will withhold it if it's not the need I believe deemed necessary for me to give to you. There's so many ways we done blocked our blessing without just being obedient. See, I want so much money dripping off of me that I will just give without even, I will just give because the need is there.
Yes, it.
I don't have to negotiate the need, right?
Right.
It says we must not miss that Jesus is describing radically selfless behavior. Say it again, radically selfless behavior. How many people you know that's radically selfless? I bet you know a lot of radically selfish people.
Yeah.
It's a difference, right? The kind that is unnatural to sinners, and incomprehensible to the world. Oh! See, the sinners of the world are not going to understand radically selflessness. Right? Actually, what they're going to do is, come on, somebody, I'm about to step on toes and it's okay, right? What they're going to do is say, here's Furman. Look what I did look what I did for Furman. Let's take a photo to show you my good deed. Right? Let's parade the blessing that I gave to Furman. See, that's what sinners do. Why? Because it's a selfish thing. So they want the accolades of giving, right? They don't want to just give out the kindness of their hearts because it's not really in their heart to give. The person who lives this way isn't governed by self-interest or self-protection and doesn't plead his legal or personal rights. His life is characterized by lovingly serving others. This is where it helps to remember the context of Matthew 5:42, the Sermon on the Mount. Jesus is setting before his disciples the ethic of the kingdom of heaven. Let's talk about the ethic. See, the kingdom of God and the world are two different things.
They are.
They have two different ethics. They have two different love languages, right? So the question is, are you kingdom or are you the world? Are you kingdom minded or are you the world minded, right? Because those are two different things, right? Jesus, and just as Jesus has not come to abolish the law, but to fulfill it, those by his grace become the true subjects of this kingdom offer up a greater righteousness that fulfills anything required under the Mosaic law. So Jesus is not establishing an inflexible rule that everyone give until they've been bled dry, because Jesus is not unsensible. Jesus is a sensible person, right?
Right.
This is to miss what Jesus is saying. Those who have experienced the grace of God do more than just keep the rules. They live by the new set of values. See, when we've been born again, we have a new set of values.
Right.
Before you wouldn't give because it wasn't in your heart to give. But now being in the kingdom of God, you give because it's in your heart to give. Before you wouldn't use your resources to advance the kingdom because you are only worried about your worldly desires. You only want to put your money on your own lust. You only want to put your money on your own things, right?
Right.
But the word of God said they are transformed in such a way that they now live a lifestyle of service that is characterized by Jesus' selfless love. Kingdom people are what? Servers. We are kingdom servers. So it should be our duty, our job, our pleasure to serve the kingdom with our resources, with our knowledge, with our love, with our compassion, with our grace. See, we have to get into a posture, kingdom-minded people, that our money, our resources is not ours. If God gives you wealth, if he blesses you with prosperity, is to what? Advance his kingdom. Right? That's what it's for. And so when I'm going back, talking about a little goes a long way, that means even when it comes to you investing so that you can have resources, come on somebody, so you can have money, come on somebody, when you need to do what? Fulfill a need.
Right.
But if you don't start with a little bit, guess what? You're not going to get the more, right? Didn't the Bible tells us God gives us a little, we're supposed to govern what we have, the little bit that we have, right? We're supposed to govern what we have, and then he will give us and bless us more. But if we can't invest even the $25, right?
Right.
How is he going to trust us or entrust us to be able to invest the $100,000 $1,000 or even more, however it may go. Right?
Right. People don't understand. I won't say people, but individuals don't understand that when you invest your money works for you. Your money is a tool. I'm not telling everybody what I know because I'm actually living it. And the person that's on the show with me can vouch that I'm actually living it because I'm not just talking to be talking, but I'm actually living. The person on the show can vouch that I am living it because I got it set up. But you building wealth, you know what I'm saying? Your money's working for you. I could post anything about investments. I don't get a lot of people like that. Shout out to be honest with you. I can say, hey, I'm enjoying looking at my investment grow. I know a few people would like get on today. You say something else, everybody like it. But only a few people like it. Why? Because everybody don't have that mindset. That makes sense.
Yeah. Also, too, I think that this is where these conversation has to be had, right? And we need to have more people who are licensed like myself, who has the education and the understanding to not be gatekeepers. See, the reason why I love that what I get to do is because I have so much wealthy information that can change the trajectory of people's lives and their legacies only if they were coachable and really opened their mind to different ways of thinking and understanding, right? See, most people, unfortunately, a lot of people, they'll know something, but guess what? They're not going to tell you, Furman, how to get it. Right?
No, they're not.
You get it through the mud like I get it. Go through your trials like I went through my trials. Don't you think we would be as much solid a community if what you knew I gave you, what you knew you gave me? Now we can go and help each other, and that's how we're supposed to work this thing out, right?
Yeah. Right.
But if I need a loan that you can give me to help me get to the next level in my life, well, if I was kingdom minded, I would have no problem doing that. But since most people aren't kingdom minded, they're never going to do that. And if they do, they're going to judge you even for it.
Right.
It's the worst thing being down on your luck. Ask somebody for a little bridge, because don't we all need a bridge sometimes?
Mm-hmm.
Is it just me that sometimes needs a bridge? You know, paycheck to paycheck. The paycheck ran out. You don't want to tap into your emergency fund, right? So you need a little bridge, right?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, come on, somebody. And that's the thing too. Listen, if you have investments, you always got some money.
And I'm a living witness of that. You can vouch for that.
I can vouch for that, right?
Right.
Look, your checking account might be a little, right?
But let me tell you something, Shiloh. It's worth it, though.
Yeah.
People don't understand that. It's worth it. When you take your money out the bank and you put your money in these accounts, your money actually growing.
Yeah, it's not just sitting. People don't understand it. And over time, it compounds.
It does. See? And I'm seeing it. I looked at it today. I said, wow, it's actually... Anyway, go ahead and finish. I'm sorry. I apologize.
And you know what? Why are you having that experience? Because you saw someone that was sitting in front of you. You took the time to sit down with that person, myself, personally. I was able to teach you a few things that made plenty of sense to you. You were coachable. And you now, what did I do? Gave you action steps to put these things in place, right? Mm-hmm. Was it a difficult process?
No.
Was the information over your head?
No.
Did you feel bullied or pressured into doing anything?
Mm-mm.
If anything, you probably felt empowered that, wow, I can actually change the trajectory of where I was at, right? Mm-hmm. See, the thing is too, Furman, most people, they just have accounts.
Yeah.
Example. And this is something we'll work on too as we go and as we grow.
Right.
So the goal, let's say the goal is to have a retirement, right? What is retirement? A lump sum of money that you need to live on when you're done working. Okay. Mm-hmm. Again, your retirement, family, this is the goal of you working. You are supposed to be working from when you are 16 years old, able to work, got your first job, your main and only goal was to make sure you had enough money at the end of your working years.
Just imagine we started early. Just imagine around that time we started at 16 years old with the information I have now. Just imagine in your 40s how much money you would have been worth.
Well, let's do the math. 16. Let's do the math, okay? Because I have it right here. Let's pull it up. So let's do some math. From 16, let me get to my calculator. So average age to retire is 67.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So let's just say, hold on. Okay. So let's just say you have 50 years. Boom. 17 years old. You got 50 years. That's a nice round number, right? 50 years. Most of us work from 17 years old to 67. That's what? 50 years. You hear me?
Mm-hmm.
Most of us have 50 years. Now, let's say that, oh, Jesus, help me. Let's say that you, for the next 50 years, in a CD at your bank, and let's just say you're going to get 3%. 3% on $100 a month for 50 years. You hear me?
Mm-hmm.
50 years, $100 a month. What if you learned when you were 17 years old that you had to pay yourself in that account, in your investment account, $100 no matter what, every single month? What if your parents put that in your head that you pay yourself $100 that you do not touch each and every month towards your retirement? If you're in a bank, let's say at a bank, well, you would have, can you believe this? You would have only $139,000.
From age 17 on to
67 at a 3% rate of return.
Wow.
That means the bank is going to give you $79,000 on your money. The whole time you contributed $60,000. That's how much you put in. $100 for those 50 years, $60,000. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
At 3% rate of return, the bank is going to give you $79,000. That's how much your money grew, $79,000, and that's $140,000. Guys, that's no money when you need to retire.
Yeah.
So the only thing now we're just going to move the percentage, the rate of return. This is why having your money in the right instruments makes sense. This is why wealthy people make money. Reasonable people know to put their money in higher yielding rates of return accounts. So now let's say that is 9%. Okay, you got with someone like me. I was able to put your money at $100 for the next 50 years and an account that's getting 9% instead of 3%. You know how much money your money is going to make, Furman?
It's going to be nice.
Furman, you will have $1.1 million. Your money is going to make $1.124413 in interest. That's what I'm talking about. $60,000. Look, that same $60,000. It's either going to make $79,000 or $1.1 million.
That sounds real nice. That 1.1 million sounds real nice right now.
It's just a decision. It's just a switch to something that makes better sense. But unfortunately, we are in such a state of lack of understanding, and we don't put ourselves in these types of environments to grow our knowledge. We cost ourselves money.
You're absolutely right.
So Furman, If back when you were 17, now let's say you got a little funky with it. Let's say you like, yo, I'm going to pay myself $500 a month. Because, guys, we're going to blow that money anyways.
Is that? You're right. We are.
How many times have you gone on a date with a woman, if you're nice, and you're taking her out to a nice restaurant? That's $200, right? You take her out to a lounge, that's another $100, right? If you're really nice, you take her, I don't know, you buy her something. That could be $500 easily just going out the window.
Yeah.
Right? It's crazy how we don't have no money, but come every December, we got extra money coming out our ears.
Yeah, because do they do the Christmas account? I remember back in the day, they used to have this quote unquote Christmas account where you put money in the first of the year and they take them. They still do that? I don't even talk about that no more.
I mean, good question. They should, I guess. But the point of the matter is, but they should. Why? Because you're giving your money a purpose now. I am a firm believer in giving your money a purpose. I get my check. Some is going to my Christmas fund. Absolutely. So that is money allotted for that in your budget, right?
Right.
So, but again, a lot of people don't do that. So the point is, they find this money out the sky some kind of way now, don't they? Right?
Mm-hmm.
They find themselves on vacation some kind of way now, don't they?
They gonna work for it. They gonna sacrifice. They gonna blood, sweat, and tears for it. That's what they want to do.
And not pay certain other things to make sure that need or that desire is met, right?
Right, correct.
Well, why can't we get smarter and get fanatical about growing our money? And it is a myth. Come on, somebody, help me in this. It is a myth, a lie straight from the pits of hell to believe that you have to have a whole lot of money before you invest.
No, you don't. Because I'm gonna share a testimony. When I got my bonus check, when I got my little bonus check from work, what I do? Matter of fact, I think I talked to you like 2 o'clock in the morning, and so I was ready to do this.
Yeah. Actually, we had a meeting. I think a Wednesday. We had a meeting, and you like, let's just get it done, right?
Yeah.
Why? Because you understand the value of investing your money. You understand that sitting that money in the bank, one or two things are going to happen. Number one, it ain't going to grow. That's for sure. And number two, you're going to spend it. That's for sure.
Right.
See, we get these extra jobs. Come on, somebody. We get these extra jobs. And this is what I want to encourage your listeners whenever y'all listen to this. Why get okay, so your bills are your bills, okay? You have your job. Your bills normally are covered by your job, by your income, right? The reasons why people get additional income is to do what? Some of the additional things that they want to do, which a lot of times is just pay more money.
Yeah.
Not pay more money, pay more bills. Right? Or do a few little extra things. But the question is that really what you should be using that money for? Or should you be using that extra money to grow some money?
You grow it. Because that's the book I got. Think Like a Billionaire talks about that. Like when people get jobs, they take their money and invest it.
Yeah, absolutely. So now, and again, too, the question is, why do you want to have money? What is the point and what is the purpose of even having prosperity, of having money? Well, it goes back to what God was saying. Our job is to help water the kingdom, right? Our job is to help God get the word out about his goodness, right?
Right.
The point of us being wealthy is that, hold on a second, but whether or not I give financially, okay, I want to read this part.
Go ahead.
I'm going to read this again. So if the point is the radical and selfless service that characterizes the citizens of his kingdom, so you got to be a citizen to even know what I'm talking about. This bears on how I responsibly apply Matthew 5:42. When I am giving and lending, am I really serving the person who is in need? Am I acting in their best interest? I would not really be serving them if I just let them indulge their greed or escape the consequences of irresponsible and unrighteous behavior by giving them what is mine. But whether or not I give financially, which I think this passage calls us to do much more liberally, than is our practice. Listen, we're supposed to give more than is our practice.
Right.
We're supposed to give more than what we're actually doing, right? Matthew 5:42 calls me to recognize that I have been made a citizen of heaven and should act with the values of that kingdom as I give myself to others as Jesus gave himself for me. So we are kingdom people. Our main goal every single day is to see who in the kingdom we can bless.
Right.
Everybody's like, oh, I'm gonna get this bag. I gotta get this bag. I got this bag. What you gonna do with this bag? What you gonna do with this bag? What you gonna do with this bag? I don't know why I did that.
They gonna buy materialistic stuff.
Which you're missing the point. Because now you rather go buy that Fendi bag rather than helping your neighbor that needs it. And then your neighbor that really needs it, guess what? You're going to judge them for even needing it. God didn't tell you that. He says that you give to take care of the need, right? You give to your brother, right? You give to your neighbor. You love your neighbor as you love yourself. If your neighbor is in need, guess what? You give them the shirt off your back. How many people are really willing to give the shirt off their back? You know how I can tell that people are not givers? Because there's so much evil in the world. People will take your life before they give you $1. And that is a problem.
That's true. That's true. Right.
So now, when we're talking about it, right, let's talk about it. Let's talk about being generous, what the Bible says about that. Proverbs 19:17 says, whoever is generous to the poor lends to the Lord, and he will repay him for his deed. Come on, somebody. You can't outpay God. You can't outgive God. Whoever is kind to the poor lends to the Lord.
Right.
So always know, if God is using you to give to someone who's less fortunate, let you know that you're lending to the Lord. You're not lending to that person in need. Look at it in a kingdom way. And he will reward them for what they have done, right? One who is gracious to a poor person lends to the Lord, and he will repay him for his good deed.
That's right.
See, it's about our heart posture.
Right.
Proverbs 11:25 says, whoever brings blessings will be enriched, and one who waters will himself be watered. Come on now. A generous person will prosper. However, refreshes others will be refreshed. Whoever refreshes others will be refreshed. See, we have to understand that our blessing is in our giving.
It is. It is.
Our blessing is in our generosity. Our blessings come from caring for God's people, not holding back from his people, not judging them when they're in a bad place or in a bad spot. You should be so excited to give to people when you can.
Right.
I pity the people that look down on others because they are less fortunate. Because at any given time, you can be in that same situation. So be careful of how you look at people, especially in the small beginnings of when they're doing things. And stop calling people who's out here grinding and working their best on their businesses, their little businesses. It's little to you, but it's grand to them.
Right.
And guess what? That little encouragement could go a long way to that person that's trying to really get their business off the street.
Right.
What I say, a little bit goes a long way, right?
It does.
You donating that little funky $100 that you could care nothing about could go a long way to that person who needs to take care of their light bill.
Yeah.
A little bit goes a long way. A little humility goes a long way. Right?
Right.
And then, of course, Colossians 3:17 says, and whatever you do in word or in deed, do everything in the name of the Lord Jesus, Giving thanks to the Lord God the Father through him. Guys, that's the thing. That's the ticket. We want to be better in our lives and want to have prosperity. We have to get these principles together. Because God's not going to bless people who don't understand, who have lack of understanding. Now, you can go out there and get your blessing. Don't get me wrong. If you work, you should be able to make some money. But we're talking about the blessings of the Lord, though, right?
Right.
We're talking about how kingdom people are supposed to approach kingdom living.
Right.
Kingdom giving.
Right.
And again, what the Bible tells us, do everything, Furman, in the name of the Lord Jesus. Not in your name. Not in the name of America. Not in the name of getting a bag. Not in your LLC name. Not in your, your family name. In the name of the Lord Jesus. Giving thanks to God, the Father, through him. Again, a little bit goes a long way.
It does. It does.
What you gotta say?
It really does. It really does. I'm excited. I'm excited about the time that we are in, Shiloh. Just the growth, the learning, the aspirations, and to look at life in a whole different scenario. Before you came on, that's what we were sharing on the show earlier, what Apostle Paul said, not be conformed to this world, but be transformed by the renewing of our mind. They may know the good and self the perfect will of God. And I tell people on the show all the time, God did not create us to be a waste. We're fearfully and wonderfully made. We're more than a conqueror. We're apple in his eye.
Yeah.
You're the head and not the tail. Above, never beneath. Blessed going in, blessed going out. And he said these, as you say, affirmations, and he restored these things upon us even before we was born. He already seen and visualized who we already are. That's why he said those things, according to the scriptures, speak those things to be those they were. So he spoke those things as be those they were, but it's up to us to receive the information that our Heavenly Father gives us, the Most High gives us. Just like tonight, you're laying the weapons out on the table tonight, but it's up to us to pick those weapons. You know how many people leave great information on the table each and every moment? Not just in the Bible. Let's say the Bible. The Bible, even the Bible tells us to be doers of the word, not just hearers only. Great information is in the word, but we don't pick it up.
Yeah. Again, you know why? Oh God, because we're not kingdom minded. Iron sharpens iron. If you have the mindset that iron sharpens iron, and you know that Furman brings great people on this podcast that sharpens you, why wouldn't you tune in? Why wouldn't you share? Because we're not kingdom minded. We are so tunnel vision about only things that we want to know. And I don't know why we think just because we get out of high school and college, we can't pick up no more books.
Lazy, complacent.
I don't know why we feel like learning stops. Learning just starts. Every day you should be learning something. Self-development, come on somebody. Self-development, guys, is if you want to get to the next income level, guess what? One of my coaches who make about $600,000 a year, he tells us all the time. He's like, you're not going to make the next 100,000 or the next income level. You're going to grow into it.
That's it.
You're going to grow into it. You're going to shed off your stinking thinking about money. You're going to shed off the scarcity mindset. You're going to shed off that lack mentality. You're going to stop living in Lodabar. You're going to come out of the ruins of what your family and generations to come have left, because guess what? God is raising up a new generation that have knowledge to get the income, to get the money, but to bless the kingdom of God as well.
Right.
We got to have a heart posture.
All
Why
right.
would God want to bless you with an abundance if you are stinking, if you have a negative attitude? If you are stingy with the $3, you're definitely going to be stingy with the 3,000 or the 300,000, or God knows that 3 million, right? But it's all about us thinking like the kingdom, being kingdom minded. And God loves a cheerful giver. I can't stand somebody doing something for me and then having a frown about it. Or somebody do something and then complain about it the whole time, the whole way. You wonder why. I'll give you an example, but let's just talk about it in church, right? You know, everybody been in church. Pastor calls for a seed. Why? Because that's the overseer of that house. And if that is a need, guess what? He should be able to call that forward. And every single person sitting in them pews should be kingdom minded enough to go in their pocketbooks, their billfolders, and whatever, and meet that need. Didn't the Bible just tell us our job is to meet the need? We need to meet the need and sow the seed, but we examine the seed. We want to see where the seed going. We want to look at the seed, who handling the seed, all this stuff. Seed done lost its value because you sweating the seed. Put the seed in the ground and let God do what he needs to do with the seed. See, many a times, oh, God, help me in this. Many a times we don't have prosperity in our lives, and that's in anything. That's in finances. That's in love. That's in our health, right? That's in our mental stability, because we ain't put no seeds in the ground.
And he said, what he does, God gives seed, provides seed for the sower, right?
We ain't put no seed. Exactly. We ain't put no seed in the ground. You only, or it's you ain't put good seed in the ground.
And you notice he said provide seed for the sower. So he provides the seed to the person that's already going to be sowing.
Yeah. So if you're putting seeds of gossip in the ground,
that's what you're going to get back.
You know what I'm saying? Of discord.
That's what you're going to get back.
You're putting seed of hate. You're putting seed of
stinginess,
right?
That's what you're going to get back.
Yes.
That's what you'll get back.
You want to get it back. It's going to, you wonder, like, why the heck am I in lack? Because you so lack.
Right.
You don't give nothing to nobody but grief. Don't wonder. Know why. Right?
That's why the Apostle Paul always told us to examine ourselves.
Yeah. So the Bible tells us here, then Jesus said, the kingdom of God is like someone who plants seed in the ground. Night and day, whether the person is asleep or awake, the seed is still growing, Furman. But the person does not know how it grows. By itself, the earth produces grain. First the plant grows, then the head, and then all the grain in the head. See, a lot of times too, we got to be careful with this is being disciples. Mm-hmm. A lot of times what we want to do, we want to say Jesus is Lord, you should follow him, he's great. Okay? Let's say that person doesn't do that right away. Right. You drop the seed. That's your job. Drop the seed. Drop the seed of hope. Drop the seed of life. Drop the seed of prosperity. Drop the seed of love and keep on going. It is God's job to bring the other people and the other experiences and the other enlightenments to water that seed in that person. But we become God and we want to go back. Did you read your Bible? Did you do this? Did you do that? Did you pray? Are you doing this? Or did you go to church? You doing way too much. You want to plant the seed, water the seed, harvest the seed, eat the seed. And you get frustrated with the people in your life when they're not producing what you believe they need to produce. Well, it's not their time to produce. They're germinating. Be patient in your germinating season.
That's it.
Right? We want to get the seed, boom. Now we all sprout up. We're bamboo. No, the bamboo tree took 5 years. 5 years before it shows any growth. But what are you doing underneath? What is your character underneath? What is your love language underneath? Right? How are you treating others underneath? Because that's what's going to eventually come up. Right?
Yep. Right.
So again, we have to be kingdom minded if we're going to continue to pursue greatness and expect goodness from the Lord. But we have to be kingdom minded, and being selfish is absolutely against God's will for us.
Right. And I just know my prayer is, Shiloh, that individuals will learn how to get in the mindset of investment, especially people they say they're entrepreneurs, that they would get into that realm of investments, that they would get into that realm of the Roth IRA, that they would get into the realm of life insurance. They forget about those things.
Of
course. And I thank you for setting me with all those things.
Yeah,
because I can speak on these things because I'm also a client.
You're also a client. Absolutely. And that you brought up one good point, and I do want to do that before we decide it's time to go. But guys, let's think about a little bit goes a long way. And I'm glad you brought up life insurance, okay? Because it's so important. And I think people need to really understand, guys, life insurance is affordable. People don't even think life insurance is affordable. I think they have the wrong concept of what life insurance is, okay? Basically, you pay a very small amount of money each and every month. Very small amount of money each and every month to protect your family from financial ruin when you exit this life. Right? We're not going to get out of here alive. I know people don't want to talk about it. It's taboo. People think, oh my God, if I get a life insurance policy, I'm going to die. Can we stop with the shenanigans? You get a life insurance policy for when you die. Okay. Now your family have more money than you had when you were here. Wouldn't you want your family to be in a better position than when you were here and they were even struggling like they were struggling? But because life insurance is the most selfless thing that you can purchase, that ensures your family will have a better life for a little while if they do it right.
Right.
Or a long while if they do it better.
Yeah.
Right?
You're right. You're right about that.
So a little bit, let's say $50, $60 a month would be such a great benefit for your family. A little bit, guys, go a very long way. We have to look at it like that.
And you're not going to miss it.
A little bit. Say it again.
And you're not going to miss it.
You're not going to miss it.
You're not going to miss it.
People
think they're going to miss it. You're not going to miss it.
That's the thing right there. So let's talk about another fund I want to talk about, right? When I talk about a little bit goes a long way.
Okay.
Your children. Right? Our goal, our job is to leave an inheritance for our children's children, okay? I always see these kids on their graduation days. They're like, they got their robes, they got their hats, they got their dresses for prom, all those things, right? And families go all out for these things, okay? But that 18, 17, 18-year-old person is about to go out into the real world where they need what? Real money.
Yeah.
Right? Because they have a new life that they are going on. Don't you know, if you had a child, they turned 18, they were 18. Let's say, let's say $50. $50.
Right.
I'll say even 25 because people think you got to have a whole bunch of money to invest. Let's say $25. $25 when your child comes out of your womb, man. It don't come out of his womb, but you know what I mean.
Yeah.
18 years. You start now putting $25 into this account at a 9% rate of return. Well, let's do the math. Let's go back to the 3% at the bank. 25. Are you ready for this? $25 at the bank at a 3% rate of return every month, you're squirreling away that $25 for your child's graduation gift. 18, $25. At the bank, that child will have $7,209.
That's all.
Look,
7,000. That's it.
Their contribution is $5,400. They made an interest $1,784. So yeah, that's it.
Just 7,000 after all them years.
$7,209 if you're putting $25 at your bank at 3% rate of return.
Oh wow.
7,000.
That's a big ripoff.
However, I'd rather you do that than give that baby nothing.
Yeah.
But if you want to really ping, 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 make your money grow, let's just say at a 9% rate of return, well, that's almost 14,000. You double it.
That's good right there, 14,000.
Why wouldn't you want to double it? But let's say that, let's say 50. Let's say $50. You ready for this? $50 a month for your child's education, for your child's adulthood fund, for their car when they're 18, for their school, for their books, for their new apartment, right? For them to go and pack up and go around the world, whatever they want to do. $50 a month, 18 years, 9% rate of return, that's $27,000. Your money made $16,000. Your contributions was $10,800. Your money made $16,000 more. See, guys, it only makes sense to seek information, to seek financial professionals. You notice how you need a doctor to diagnose your problems within your body? Well, sometimes you need a financial coach, a financial guy, someone like myself to diagnose your financial problems. So guess what? We can give you a prognosis, so we can give you a regimen to get financially healthy.
That's it.
Right? Because why would you not want to have $50 going over into a healthier account than over here at a diminished account? Deficient account. Why be deficient when you can be definitely healthy? Right? You got iron deficiency. You know what I'm saying? Like,
right.
These iron. These
right.
Irons, or whatever y'all do to get this iron up, right? You take the little red pills, right? Get your brain right and get this money right. Another fund I want to talk about, and then we can be gone. A flea fund. What's a flea fund? What's a flea fund?
Break it down.
Whew. You know what a flea fund is? These are for people, let's say, who are in relationships. A flea fund is a fund that you have in case you need to flee, ladies. Gentlemen.
Oh, like an abuser or something? Like
it can be abuse. It can be just because I'm done with you. Ain't it's time to go. Okay. Oh. No, yeah, let's just say it.
I'm just saying.
But even more so abusive, right? I mean,
right, but yeah, it's negative. Yeah, negative environment. Yeah.
I mean, hopefully, but what it see, because a lot of people are in these crazy, toxic, too long overdue, past due relationships because one person or the other one can't leave.
Yeah.
Because they're not financially healthy to do so. But if you had a flea fund, something that you may have been squirreling away $100 a month in, just so make sure that if anything were to happen when it needs to happen or whatever, 10 years, at least you got $20,000 you can roll out on. Think about it. If you had your finances set up to where you have money taking care of your life insurance, so your family is good, making sure you have money in an emergency fund in case the government wants to shut down the world again, or in case your job lets you go, or in case you leave your job, whatever it may be, or in case you just need a freaking break. You have an emergency fund, right? Or you have an emergency. Your tires go out. Your air conditioner go out. Your children have an emergency. Your mother calls because her roof fell in. Now you got to go send her money. See, we have to have money so that we can help the people that need us the most.
That's it.
You know what Bill O'Render said? This is one of our top leaders in our company.
Okay.
He said, I wrote it down. He said the best thing that you can do for the world is be one less broke person in the world.
Mm.
The one thing that we can do is be one less broke person in the world. That really, that real, yeah. Because if we're less broke, we're more wealthy. We can help the people who need it. We don't have to be the one in need. Can we have less people in need and more people on the giving side? But I pray that God opens up the floodgates of heaven to the people that are listening that have the posture of giving and just need the right opportunity to bring money into their lives and flow like the floodgates so they can give to God's kingdom. But when that happens, when God blesses you in that big, huge way, it's so very important you keep that posture of giving. You remember who give it and you remember who can take it away.
That's right.
And you remember you can now outgive God. Use your resources to build up the kingdom. Use your resources to help somebody really that needs it. And don't be a judge when people need it, because you don't want no one to judge you when you will need it.
You're right.
Right?
You're right.
So, and again, a little bit goes a long way. You need to reach me 713-566-1228, or you can reach me on obviously all of my social media. On Facebook is a really great way to reach me also. And we can sit down and do a financial game plan. We go over your budget, see where you're overspending, see where we can save some money so you can grow some money at higher rates of return. So we can make sure your life insurance is in place. So if anything were to happen to you, your house doesn't fall, right? Your financial house stands for your family and your children and your children's children. A good man leaves an inheritance to his children's children, right? And if you have minors, wouldn't you want to make sure you're squirreling away some money for them for when they get older? Don't you want to make sure you're squirreling away money so when you need it? Don't you want to make sure that you're building up your retirement account for the days that you stop working? And guess what? Don't you want to make sure you have money set aside for your goals and dreams?
Right.
Well, it's going to take a strategy, and you're going to need someone like myself to help you do exactly that. And I also do it complimentary. Okay. I'll sit down with you via Zoom and we'll go through this and go through your goals and your dreams and assess your needs. Absolutely complimentary. Now you can go to the bank and they'll charge you $500 to $1,200 to tell you that, yep, you're pretty broke. We knew that before you walked in. Okay. I'm going to tell you that, but I'm going to be nice about it. And we're going to come with a strategy to make sure you're in a better position in a year or 2 or 3 or 4 or obviously and beyond. So,
right. That's awesome. I appreciate you. Of course, great information. Of course, I know you'll be back within 2 weeks, of course, here on the show as well. So I always appreciate you and everything else. Keep up the great work that you're doing. And you're always consistent with it. So I appreciate you again. So keep up the great work. Very excited, very honored, very privileged, of course. And we had a great time, Charlotte, here on the show. Yeah. Big shout out to Aneta as well. That was on here earlier. Last I won't be doing the show this coming Saturday. I'll be on someone else's platform. I'll be interviewed on the Keeping It Real podcast. Big shout out to Michelle here in the DFW. It's going to be pre-recorded, so it won't be live. So whenever we release it, I'm looking forward to everybody listening, checking it out. But other than that, we're pressed for time. Of course, we know that it's winding down. It's going into the 9 o'clock hour. We know that people got to get their rest. I know I got to get up early in the morning because I'm going to work out in the morning. So I have to get up early in the morning and get my day started. Yeah. So, Charlotte, before we leave, you have any words of advice, any signs of wisdom that you want to leave here, or are you good?
Just keep up the great work, Furman. And for anyone that needs help, again, 713-566-1228. We on the replay or however you do it, reach out to me and I can definitely help you.
Oh, most definitely. And we out this thing, man. Y'all have a great night. Be blessed. Go in peace. Peace, everybody.